Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I know some of you are hopping from the 2 p.m. one to the 3 p.m. one, so I appreciate that. We have Deputy Warden Dustin Inslow with us, and I am Nadine McCormick, the Public Information Officer for Annapolis Remo. I would ask that you please give your name and the agency you're with, and you can have a question and a follow-up, and if you could just raise your little virtual hand, that would be great. That helps me realize who needs time to ask a question. So Deputy Warden, if you'd like to start off with an update, that would be great.
Thank you. So we're just going to touch on the fire update first. So, of course, the wildfire is still out of control, and it's currently estimated at over 8,200 hectares. Over the past few days, crews have been very productive in working around the different flanks of the fire and putting out a lot of the spot fires that we're seeing from the growth area from Sunday. There's a lot of air resources being utilized. The fact that it just shows that the severity and the seriousness of this fire, and that the province is putting their full effort into it. There's 11 helicopters, 6 airplanes. Of course, they have their spotter, and on the ground they have 12 natural resources, 89 people from Ontario, 70 local firefighters, and an additional 70 equipment operators. So we have a lot of people up there fighting this fire, and we're trying to stay positive and hopeful. We've had a few days of progress. We haven't really seen a huge increase in the size of the fire. Yes, the intensity of the fires within it continue, but for growth, we're looking fairly good. On to the municipal type update. We're still dealing through the difficult time. We have reached out to every single person that has lost or damaged their home in this wildfire. That was a very difficult time for our staff to manage. And we're also providing emotional support for them as well as all of our evacuees. And we've already had one session for people that work for the municipality, and we'll continue to do that. Of course, it's even you see these things in the news, and you can never think that it would happen to us, and we're dealing with it. We're still not out of the woods yet. This is still an active and out of control wildfire, and it's still dangerous. So we need to make sure that we're not getting in the state of compliance, or not compliance, but just making this the norm. It's definitely not the norm. So we still need to remember that it's not safe to be in or near this area. It's still out of control and unpredictable. But we have the professionals that are truly looking after it. We have been working very diligently with our partners, including the province of Nova Scotia, and we announced today that we'll be having a navigator program, and the municipality is hiring a navigator to look after solely the people that were affected by this wildfire. That way they have one main point of contact to navigate them through this challenging time, to make sure that they can get all the resources that are needed, as well as the municipality is going to continue to advocate for our residents. We're in this for the long haul, and we will continue to be here to support. This navigator is going to start at the fire hall on Saturday the 30th from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. And as we see the use of this program, we'll continue to adapt as required. I just really want the focus to be around the fact that we're supporting our residents through this difficult time, and hopefully we'll come through this together and stronger than what we were before. I'm still continue to be amazed with the amount of volunteer effort that we're seeing, and hopefully we can continue that up. The other part I want to mention with this navigating program, or the navigator program, is that it will be located at the Bridgetown Fire Hall, 31 Bay Road. That way it is actively in the area that we're supporting. and it will continue to do that, be at that location for the near future, as long as this is needed. So that's really all I have, Nadine. Um, Over to you.
Thank you, Deputy Warden. So we can open the floor for questions now. Does anyone have a question and a follow-up? You're a very quiet bunch today. Jason.
Hey, Dustin, Jason Malloy, Annapolis Valley Register. I know you had mentioned the navigator position, whoever is filling that, someone will be there on Saturday.
Mhm.
Do you see this being offered 7 days a week or do you know at this point, like, will it be there Sunday or is this a lot of
Yeah,
questions we
so
don't really know yet?
as you can imagine, we've um, developed this and worked with the province in a very quick manner. So at this point, it's going to be 7 days a week. That's why they started on Saturday. Of course, we can't expect the person that fills this role to continue at that pace of 7 days a week, even though I know, people are evacuated and they're living it 7 days a week. We have staff through the municipality, including myself, that has been at this for whatever day this is now, day 14, 15. So we'll continue to evaluate as we go through, and we have the full support of the province on this program.
Thank you. Do you have a follow-up, Jason?
Yes. I think you said this position will be there as long as it's needed. Did I understand that correctly? There's no end date with the provincial program at this point?
So as of right now, it is set up at a 6-month window, um, but there is constant negotiations with the province, and we're being assured that as long as we need this, we will continue to get the support that we need. It's just hard for the province to forecast more than 6 months out at a time, because of course this situation we're in will continue to change daily, or by the hour, like we've seen, and the resources that are needed to support our people will continue after day by day. So as we approach that 6 month mark, we'll be reevaluating and working with the province to see what we can do with this program, and I think at this point we have a very strong relationship with the province, and they are also in it for the long haul.
Just another clarification with regards to this program. Is this the municipality asking the province, or is this something that was identified in 2023 and it's just the province suggesting this is a way of going, or can you explain how this began?
Yeah, so this began, well, of course, from lessons learned, we looked at the different gaps that happen in Barrington and Chalburn. But this is an idea that we came up with quite some time ago at the beginning. Well, not really the beginning, but as soon as we identified houses to be lost. Um, and then we had our discussions with our provincial partners and agreed that this is something that we both really been looking at. So it was glad that we're both on the same page. So this position is funded by the province as their support to this, but administered and managed by the municipality.
Thank you.
Do we have any other questions? Yes, Sheldon.
Sheldon McLeod, MBS Radio. For people who have not been in the area, Deputy Warden, I wonder if you can give us a perspective. I'm seeing some people online say, well, the province just didn't come out with enough resources at the beginning, and that's what happened. What is your assessment from where this all started to where we are today?
Well, from someone that's had the I don't want to say privilege of going out there, because what we've seen over the past 14 days is nothing that anyone wants to experience. Excuse me. But we've seen and continue to see the support from the province and the professionals stepping in to deal with this fire. Um, I believe that they were engaged at the right time. They were there right from the beginning. So the fact that this fire was identified on Wednesday evening of the 12th or 13th, and then we were working with DNR that next morning, and actually that night we were already engaged. So they were engaged right from the beginning. As soon as the resources were here, they were being used. I don't feel that there was a delay. Our local firefighters were on the scene right away, and they're still up there now fighting and transporting water. Um, the province has thrown in every single resource that they have available, and they've even been doing things that hasn't been complete done in the other fires yet. So this sprinkler system that they're using for protection of property, yes, we understand that there's been losses to homes, and we were hoping that we would never see that. But the efforts of DNR and emergency management to protect homes and to protect this from being a lot worse was definitely relevant, and noticed at the time. So I feel that, every situation you're in, you always look back and think, okay, well, could I have done that differently and done this differently? We all look at this, but that's hindsight's 2020. But I feel that the right resources was used. And we have to remind the fact that leading up to Hurricane Erin, we were seeing great progress, where when the fire jumped the road in West Dalhousie prior to that, we had no loss of structures. The work that they did to protect homes, what they used to protect resources, worked. None of us could predict, to the best of our ability, what would have happened with Hurricane Erin. So when that hurricane arrived and we got the wind that we got, there's nothing that could have been done to control this. So we have to try to look at the good as well as the bad, and we'll continue to support all the resources that are on the ground, and hopefully we get the message out that we had the resources on the ground, and we have great respect for the province of all the different departments that were fighting this.
Thank you for the answer. I guess the last question, I had a question about the NS Alert app that the province just announced today. They actually called me back to say it wasn't exactly it's an additional tool that's an add-on to the federal one that's already in place. How do you see this helping, and how would it maybe have made a difference? Because I know the radio station I work at was called on that Wednesday night because they were worried the cell coverage in that area was terrible.
Mm-hmm. So any additional resources are always good. So we were very fortunate that within our municipality, we also engage in an alertable type system. So not only were people being alerted via the alerts through managed by the federal government, but they were also, if they were a member of our alertable through our Remo, they also got alerted. I know that my phone and many other phones within the municipality was just going off one after another with all the alerts. And for many people like myself, unfortunately, have two cell phones. We got all the different alerts. So the fact that the province is stepping in and adding an additional resource to reach people, I think is a good thing.
Thank you.
I don't know if that quite answered your question, but
it did. I'm just worried about fatigue, warning fatigue. If it doesn't apply to people, that they're not going to listen. But that's clearly not the case or situation where you're in right now.
No, exactly. And I do want to point out the fact that this alertable, and the minister did mention it at the meeting, that the fact that you can actually customize the alerts that you get, hopefully would change that. So I know with myself, with my alertable account, I was able to identify, different alerts that I want from the municipality, because we use it for everything from water breaks to power outage to unfortunately wildfires, and you can adjust it accordingly. That way, you're not getting bombarded by notifications.
Thank you, Deputy Warden. Jason, you have a further question?
Yes, please. This may be very low in the priority list at this point, and I don't know if it's for either of you or if it's more of a Brian question, but have we witnessed an increase in people signing up for the Alertable app in Annapolis County since August the 13th?
So we have seen an increase in that, but off the top of my head, I don't know what that is. But as part of the lessons learned and rollout from when we're done with this activity, I'm sure that will be identified in this. But yes, we have seen people sign up and for the alertable within the municipality.
And a different question, if I can.
Mhm.
We didn't have a chance to speak to you yesterday, Dustin. I know the day before you hadn't been in any of those in-person meetings with people who had lost their home. Were you in any of those yesterday?
No, unfortunately, I wasn't. By the time that I was able to help, our amazing team was able to reach out to every single person. And at that point, they were just waiting for a few callback and follow-up appointments. And they're, as you can appreciate, throwing in another person into that of someone that they haven't spoke to yet would cause even more hardship. So that's why, this navigator program is going to be very important, where they have that point of contact. And we'll still continue with our 1833 number for generic questions and anything like that. But if it's related to things that the navigator can help with, we'll be directing them to that person or taking their information and passing it on to the navigator, and they'll be reaching out. So we just, unfortunately, I wasn't able to participate in actually telling people, which personally, that bothers me, because we said that we would as a different team, but different changes within this wildfire happened, and I had to turn my attention to support that, which actually allowed the warden to help and assist with that. And I believe it was a really good team that we had. The people that were on it were very compassionate and know our municipality. But at the end of the day, I personally feel bad that I wasn't able to participate, but I had to put my efforts elsewhere to support the municipality. So because this whole thing, just the forest fire alone weighs heavy on all of our hearts and all of our shoulders. I know that we are all here for the right reasons. And of course, our hearts are broken for the people that have lost their homes and damaged their properties. I know that I had the unfortunate opportunity to go witness this firsthand on 2 days ago, and it's difficult. I know that the warden hasn't had a chance to go up there yet, but it is difficult to see. Like when I came back from the site, it was definitely very emotional. So I just want us to have that message to people that we are in this together. We will continue to be in this together, and the municipality and the province is here for the long term. And we just want people to feel safe, to be safe, and to also feel that they are being supported. And I believe that we've been doing everything we can to the best of our ability up to this point. We will continue to learn from things and adapt to continue to support them. I know that kind of digressed from your question, but sometimes once I get onto a roll, I just go with it.
I was just wondering too, unimaginable information that people were receiving yesterday. Has there been follow-ups yet, or with those people? Okay.
Yeah, so there has been follow-up, and the way that it worked is that the small team that were the ones that were making the contacts about the loss or damage are basically, until we have the navigator on board this Saturday, they're their main point of contact. So that the person or the group of people that had met with these individuals are still the people that they're in contact with. They're following up, making sure information is, excuse me, flowing, as well as we have a team that are, like the minister stated at the last presser, that is reaching out to members that were evacuated because we said that we would follow up and call, and we are doing that. And it is challenging.
I'm thinking that as these residents have time to process the information, there'll be a lot of more questions arise, and it's good to know that they have somebody that they can lean on until that navigator is in place.
Yeah, so I would say that they've been in contact with them at least once a day since they've been told. So, we started telling people 2 days ago. And since then, whether we've reached out or they've reached out to us, they've been in contact when we're trying to provide as much information as possible. Like, there's some people that are going and starting their insurance situations and they need pictures. And we're able to provide some pictures from our from the inspections that we completed so far to confirm the loss or the damage. And we'll continue to do that.
Thank you. I do
Thanks.
have one more question if no one else does, but
No one else has their hand up, and we've got 8 minutes. So go ahead, Jason.
just with the announcement, and I'm going a bit on my memory, but I believe I'm understanding things correctly, that the provincial assistance that's available to those evacuated, people have to be registered through the Red Cross to access that funding.
100%.
Have the numbers grown? Like, are you seeing more people registered since that information came out?
Yes. So as of right now, we have 546 registered for all of our evacuation. We are continuing to see it increase by the hour as we try to get the message out that you need to register to get this type of financial support, and also for us to contact you. So we know that people don't feel comfortable sometimes sharing information, but unfortunately, there's restrictions on how the province can provide assistance, and to confirm that individuals are the right individuals that need it, people have to register through the Red Cross. So I encourage people to continue to register so they can access these funds. And fortunately, again, with a good partnership with the province, it's been determined that the municipality are the ones that are going to be administering those funds on behalf of the province. So once you're registered and get the information, then we will start the process as things go on with the province to get the money into people's hands. That's just another example of the complete cooperation that the municipality and the province is having at supporting our residents.
That 546 number, that's individuals.
Yes.
And if I remember correctly, we're estimating about 1,200 evacuated, so we're still less than 50% of the amount of people that have evacuated have actually registered.
Yeah, so we're about the 50% mark. So we're hoping that it continues. Of course, with the 1,200, like the minister said, it is a bit of an estimation because at our level, we don't know exactly how many people are in each household. It could be one, it could be two. So we just kind of based it on 2 to 3 persons per household. But I would say we're at halfway, or a little bit about halfway, and it is fairly impressive.
Hey,
One last
Jason, do you
question.
have any? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I just wonder, with it being almost September now,
Mhm.
if you're hearing through the people that are talking to the residents, the concern about how the building season is nearing its end and what they're going to do through the winter?
Of course, that's on the minds of many. And what we're trying to do is support the residents. So if they have insurance, we're supporting them with we're by providing pictures. Like that is a lot faster than what people's been provided pictures and information at other forest fires. We had losses on Sunday, and today is Thursday, I think.
Right.
And we started providing photos to people yesterday. So that's 3 days after the event, so they can get that insurance started. But we do know construction season, ends in fall. So we are, working with our partners and working with the municipality or with the province to see what can be done as we move through this. We've had a lot of outreach from different property owners and developers and things of, vacant apartments that are coming up and things like that, that will continue to work with our navigator to ensure that people have what they need.
Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Warden. Is there any further questions?
I've got one, and I don't know how easy it is to answer here, Dustin. But as
Go
the
ahead,
calendar
Jason.
does flip to September,
Mhm.
what happens with school for the evacuees?
Yeah, so that's a difficult question that we've been trying to navigate and working with each individual family. There's various factors on this. We're hoping that as we progress to have good days, that, some of the evacuation areas may be eased and some areas would be able to return to their home. And then, of course, there's ones that have that were in the highest damaged area. Even if their houses weren't lost or damaged, there's a lot of damage and safety issues that are still there, and the fire is still out of control. But for people that are utilizing our shelter services, this area is not affected by students returning back to NSCC. Yes, it's at the community college, but it's a private section, so it shouldn't have any real impact. So there's no fear of us closing that because of school. In regards to school-aged children, I know that we are working with families that were affected by this, that have school-aged children, to see what we can do, what support we can provide. Even if we're looking for places for them to stay, that we really want people to be in the areas that they're used to. So, if they have a child that goes to the Bridgetown school, we want to support them to find housing within that catchment area.
Sorry, I don't know my boundaries that well.
Mhm.
The evacuation zone, would all
Mhm.
those students come into Bridgetown, or is there another line and they go to a different place, or?
Half and half. So the people that are within the original evacuation of Morris Road, West Dalhousie, and Thorn Road, they would be within the Bridgetown school catchment area. The families that are around the number 10, so Swicker Lake, Trout Lake, etc., they would most likely fall into the Middleton school area, as well as we would have some people that would be attending the French Francophone school in Kingston, and there may be some within both catchment areas that would be attending the Lawrencetown Center for Education.
No, thank you, Dustin.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You. So it's 3:30 now, so we will bring this to an end. I want to thank all of you for joining us today. We will be back tomorrow, Friday at 3 p.m. And then we will most likely take a bit of a pause over the long weekend. But thank you for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow, and everyone stay safe.